good, everybody? It's Prince Amukamara here, Super Bowl champion, and we got A Rob, my co host, Allen Robinson, Pro Bowl receiver, and this is the press release podcast. A Rob, what you got for us today, man?
Hey man, good weekend of sports, man. Also, episode 4 coming to you.
Yep.
A big weekend of sports. Obviously, you was at the Nebraska versus
Oh
Michigan
my
game.
God, this dude.
Tough loss for Nebraska. But I mean, I'll say this though, as always, when you watching a Nebraska game, man, the atmosphere looks
Oh
insane. Like, what
yes.
was it like? What was it like? I mean, because you was
It
on the
was.
field. I think it was a national championship team that was honored too.
Yep, the '95 national championship, and it's crazy because last year I was there. The '94 national team, then the '94 national championship team got honored against Colorado, and then now this year's '95 against Michigan. And so yeah, the atmosphere was electric. Had my boy, Will Compton and Taylor Lewan on busing. It's their big game, so they was there. And yeah, we started good, man. It was good. There was so Bud. Hold on, let's rewind. Bud, pound for pound, right?
Shout out to Bud Crawford.
Number one boxer in the world right now. He walked everybody out through the tunnel, and yeah, it was just live. And like I said, we started strong, but we didn't finish strong. But I think we showed everybody in Nebraska and everybody in the nation, like, hey, like what we're capable of. And so I think people
A
started to
little bit
look
of
at
ways
us
to
like
go. Y'all still got a little ways to go.
true, true.
Solid team,
You guys got
solid
a big game
quarterback.
this week though. So
How was my dog Bryce Underwood?
he's nice. He's nice. He's nice. He ran the ball. He ran the ball solid. Dude, they had 200 plus yards rushing.
Yeah,
And I know as a defensive player, like we always say, hey, if they don't
stop
get
it.
over 100 and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So if they get over 100, then we didn't do our job. So you can't win games like that.
And
But
like you mentioned, man, big week for us this week in Happy Valley.
yes,
Penn State versus Oregon.
yes.
I think we're ranked number 3 now. We got moved down. This is gonna be a big test for us, man.
Right.
I thought over the first few weeks we looked solid, but at the end of the day in college football, I don't think you really see how your team is built until you play one of these good teams. Again, everything might look, ups and downs. We started out slow against a couple teams, ended up scoring 50. But I mean, this week, college game day is in Happy Valley. This is a big
Mm.
game for us, man. A big measuring stick game for us as a team that beat us last year in the Big Ten championship. To be able to play them early in the season gives us a measuring stick of where we're at and where we need to go. So I'm excited to see. Wish I could be up there, but I won't. Who you got in that game?
Come on, man. I'm gonna go with Penn State,
Okay.
man.
Okay. Hey, listen, bro. Listen. I rolled in the back with Nebraska last week. I mean, you ain't have to ride with Penn State this week. I
Right,
just
right.
wanted to make sure I put that out there. I want you to really say who you feel like.
No, I like them. I like them. Like you said, they're putting up points. My thing with Oregon is that Oregon's nice, but it's like they're still a bit shaky and stuff like that. And so, but I mean, they're both teams are undefeated. It's going to be a great game. I would take the over on that on that game.
You know the spread
Uh,
on top of your head, or you just saying generally, whatever it
I'm
is, you going with
generally
the over.
yeah. Whatever the total is, yeah, I'm taking the over because I think it's going to be a high scoring game.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Then I'm gonna have to check that out. We gonna get straight into it from last week. The guaranteed picks did not go as planned this
Ooh.
week, but I'll
Can
say
you
this:
believe that?
a couple teams screwed me, man. Listen,
Gosh, it's
because
just
of those two teams, we're gonna have a segment here in a little bit called BTA. And again, I'm not specifically being biased to those teams, what I'm saying, because they messed up my guaranteed picks, but just because they got BTA last
yeah,
weekend, and for what people and for the fans who don't know what BTA is, that's built to ass.
yeah.
And that's what these two teams got. So we'll get to that. But last week we had a big week of long kicks and kickers kind of dominating and winning. This week it was the opposite. It was kicks
Yeah.
being blocked. We saw, I want to say 4 this week being blocked. It was 2 that was blocked in the Eagles game, 2 in the fourth quarter, one for the Rams to extend their lead, and the other one to win the game, blocked for a touchdown. And then you fast forward to the Browns game, similar situation. Packers lined up, pretty much for game winning kick, gets blocked, and then go all the way down to Tampa. It's another one. You had the Jets block a kick against Tampa Bay, and they took that in and scored. So you've been a person for me. I never played special teams. I may have played 6 total snaps in special teams when I was in the league. That's hands and on sides. But you've been on those field goal block teams. Have you ever blocked one?
Haven't blocked one, but I believe I scooped one, and it's crazy because I remember we're told like this as corners when we go when they say hike and we rush, never look back to see if the ball's kicked. Our eyes are just right here, just in case we get a deflection, a scoop and score, and that's the best feeling. But don't also forget, there was maybe five. There was a couple defensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
My guy in Minnesota, Isaiah
He
Rogers,
had
my boy,
two, didn't he?
two a fumble recovery and a pick. And so, because when I turned on the game, I'm thinking, hold on, the Vikings is whooping tail. But then you go and see, it's like, okay, these stats aren't adding up. Like Carson Wentz isn't
That'll
lighting
do
it
it.
up, and
That'll do it.
so you go and check the defense. Okay, there goes a pick. Okay, you go and see how else they were scoring. But yeah, I mean, I know we're going to talk about the Carolina and Falcons game, but I mean, man, but yeah, we'll
And
get
we
to
got
that.
some
But
game balls, and
yeah,
we got some game balls to give out, you know. So we'll kind of talk about that a little bit. But I also want to ask you, have you been on the because you said you scoop one, so you've been around a kick being blocked. Like, who have you talked to? Is there any specific? I know I see some of the special teams guys, you know, always like lining up, trying to key the ball and trying to get their response time and reaction time to keying the ball super on point. Like, have you ever talked to anybody? Is there a specific art or knack to being able to block a field goal? Because again, I mean, you see it sometimes. Sometimes you see guys jumping over the center. Sometimes you see guys coming smooth off the edge. So, I mean, have you talked to any guys who had a knack or who maybe blocked a couple before?
two people have done it well. And we played with one of them, Sherrick McManus, when we were on the Bears, and then Dominique Rogers Cromartie.
Okay, okay. Marty
DB,
was one of those
yeah,
athletes, man. He just
man, ran
yeah,
probably the best I've been around. Ran 4.2, and so what he told me was he doesn't even look at the ball. He looks at whoever's fielding the who's ever fielding the hike or
yeah.
fielding the ball,
Really?
because they have a cadence that they're doing, and so as soon as they do this, he'll study it on film. But as soon as they do whatever with their hands, he's timing it off of that, and
Wow.
he's going. Yeah, so he doesn't look at the ball at all because if you look at the ball, you'll see the snapper either like squeeze their hands or just do whatever, and that can kind of mess you up.
So I mean, and again, I actually got a piece of one in college, but I just was a jumper. So it's been a couple of
Mm.
times I've been that person, and now you see guys jumping over the center and stuff like that. So I mean, it's kind of evolved a little bit into the ways of guys blocking kicks. But I'm gonna get straight to the next segment. The next segment is the new one that we're bringing out this week, BTA, the belt to ass segment, and these two teams this week got to get it. First up is Atlanta Falcons, man. Obviously, I had them in the guaranteed picks, man. Offensively, they've looked horrible. Last week we spoke to players only meetings and if that was a bad thing or not. I saw that Raheem Morris is going to have the offensive coordinator for Atlanta Falcons come out of the booth and call the game from the sideline. Now, what do you think about that? Is that a big deal? Is it
Yes.
not? Is that just the tip of the iceberg of chaos going on, or somebody who normally calls game and who has set the precedence that they do like to call games out of the booth now coming down to the field? What do you think about that dynamic and just that shift?
I mean, there could be chatter or that whatever's happening up there, it's not being taken seriously up in the booth. I need you to come down here, or he could just be like, hey, I want to be able to talk to you. I want to be able to kind of influence your
Phone.
decisions.
You only got the
Yeah,
phone on the
I
sideline.
know, but
Call
I
you.
think that there has to be some type of discrepancy. There's the message is being lost, and he wants to be able to just talk to the OC, or he's just probably thinking, hey, I think you'll have a better feel of the game if you're down here and you can feel it because
So you
up in the
think
booth
so?
is
Who do
like
you think this
Madden.
is on the offensive coordinator or the head coach? Do you think the head coach is asking for that, or do you think that they're the offensive coordinator is like, you know what, let me be proactive and this is what I think would be better for us.
I think it's for sure the head coach, and because we see, I mean, because then I'd like to ask you, do you think the wide receivers coach You think that was a GM decision, or you think that was a head coach decision?
I saw that. He also had a role as a passing game coordinator. So
Coordinator.
again, which is why I asked for him coming out of for the offensive coordinator come out of the booth and stuff like that, because obviously they have some stuff going on. I mean, whenever you have that kind of talent on offense, you have Michael Penix Jr., you have Bijan Robinson, you have Drake London, Darnell
Yeah.
Mooney, Kyle Pitts, and you have a donut against the Carolina Panthers. No disrespect to the Panthers, but when you have a donut in a divisional game like that against a team that I wouldn't even say is, I mean, yeah, they're aspiring to win the division, but they're still trying to grow, and they have a lot of growth that, that has to take place this season. So to put up a donut on them, and I believe they didn't even cross Carolina's 30-yard line.
Mm.
So when you
Oh,
have
wow.
stats like that are popping up with such a high firepowered offense, I mean, everything has to be, scrutinized at that point. It has to be on the table. So, I mean,
When something like that happens, I know you're like you still. I'm not. Hold on. I'm not gonna put you out like that. You're not calling for Jackson Dart, but what I'm saying, you still got Kirk Cousins on there, right? On the Falcons.
you
Do
do,
you?
but I mean, you already went away from him. You figured that this was what needed to be best moving to Penix. So now I think you have to figure out how do you continue to roll with him and what's best in that situation. I don't think that you can go back. And at the same time, I heard Raheem Morris say last week that Bijan Robinson was the best player on the field, and then he said he's the best player in the league. So it's like when
I
you
don't have a
have
problem with
those,
that. I mean,
but
that's
my
not
thing is when you have
talented.
a player like that and then you put up a donut,
Yeah.
it's like 911 state of emergency. What's going on? We got to figure this thing out.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, we're approaching the first quarter of the season, so you know how that goes. A lot of teams will have their tendencies now. People can start to game plan for guys a little bit more. So I mean, I'll be curious to see the direction that Atlanta Falcons go from here. But they have a lot of talent, and this is a year that I think that they thought was kind of it's supposed to be their year a little bit in that division.
Right. Yep. And that division is starting to look like 2011 to 2016, 17 AFC South. No offense to you
Yeah,
guys in Jasper. Well, just because in the or you can even go to AFC East when Tom Brady was there. Like there's a clear winner, and we know that clear winner right now is the Bucks. I mean, you go to who has. You always look at who has the best quarterback, and that's usually to me that's usually who's going to win. And the Bucks are playing great ball, and so no one's really making it no one's making it hard for them. And so yeah, like I remember when Tom Brady was at the AFC East. I mean when Mark Sanchez was there, he was
yeah.
making it competitive. But other than that,
Tom Brady has some crazy record about like a winning streak in that division and just kind of dominating that division.
right. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, he went. Think about it. He went to the Super Bowl, not playoffs. He went to the Super Bowl 50% of his career, 10 out of
Yeah,
20.
which is absolutely ridiculous. But I'm gonna move on to the second game of the BTA segment. Seahawks versus the Saints. The Saints got BTA belt to ass. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, week one, it was they were more of a competitive team, but the Saints right now seem as if they're just moving in the wrong direction. I heard Cam Jordan speak last week about he said he heard a lot of 49ers fans in the Superdome, which is kind of a rarity, But at the same time, Alvin Kamara has been quiet this year. You have a young quarterback. You drafted one in the second round, and throughout training camp and from what I saw, he was ready. So then you rock with Spencer Rattler, who was a guy who was a high touted prospect, going into college, and even a solid one coming out of college. But the Saints just seem to be a little bit all over the place. They have an older team, which is kind of weird. First time head coach, so I mean it's kind of expected. But I mean I would like to see them put out a better showing than that. Were you able to catch that game at all, or just kind of see? I thought Sam Darnold played well.
Sam
Um,
Darnold did play well. Yeah,
I was gonna give,
Jackson and Enigma.
I was just gonna say him. I was gonna give a game ball to him, but we had a pretty tight list this week on game balls. But man, that division is gonna be very, very interesting, man. I think it's gonna end up
Which
being one of
one?
the sneakier good divisions.
NFC East? I mean NFC West?
West. Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
gonna be one of the sneakier good divisions because
Yeah.
you have a very competitive Rams team. You have the Seahawks, who on the defensive side of the ball have always been pretty stout. Now they add a few weapons and Sam Darnold on the offensive side of the ball with a good running game. I think they're going to be one of the better teams in the NFC. And then, you add in the 49ers, and they've been banged up, but,
Dude,
Kyle
but
Shanahan is the quarterback whisperer.
yes, he is.
So
Yes, he
he's
is.
getting Mac Jones to play well again, which I'm going to get to
Our boy
later.
Eddie Pinero with the kick.
Eddie Peasy, Eddie
Yeah.
Peasy. Um, it's funny because I remember when he first came to Chicago, man, he made some
Oh
big kicks
man,
for us.
he did.
He was right after the double donk,
Yeah.
excuse me. He was right after the double doink era. So,
Yeah.
they had a lot of love for Eddie P, but he was stepping into some shoes that people were.
Isn't it? Let's talk about that. Okay, let's talk about that. Eddie P on the couch, right? Free agent. 49ers did whatever they want with their kicker. Eddie P comes in, gives them the win with the game-winning field goal kick, and now he's on people's show. They probably didn't even know his name.
Yeah, literally.
Now,
I mean, we
now
see
they
that happen a
carrying
lot.
him. No, 100%. Now they carrying this man on his shoulders, and now this man, like, I mean, I don't know if he can go anywhere in Santa Clara, but people know who Eddie Pinero is. But it's like I mean, it's so awesome, and that's why I remember Coach always told me, stay ready so you don't have to get ready because of
Exactly,
stuff like
especially
that.
in NFL, man, because you
Oh
never
yeah,
know when your time is gonna come. I mean,
no,
at the end of the day, like you said before, stay ready so you don't got to get ready. But on the flip side of that, you have the Atlanta Falcons who released their kicker midweek, brought in the kicker and signed him, and he
oh,
missed two kicks. They released my dog Young Ho, and that's his
that's
name. I'm saying
crazy.
they released him.
No.
Yep, they definitely did. They released him, brought in a new guy, and he misses two. But again, that's the parody of the NFL. Sometime, and again, I always say this: what makes the NFL crazy is that you're always judged in hindsight.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you got to be on point because a decision is going to take shape somewhat after the fact. So when you release your kicker and then bring in this new kicker, now everybody's saying you jumped the gun. And it's like, from perspective, I mean, who knows? I know Young Ho didn't have the best season last season, but right now you release him. Now you have another guy who comes in, misses two kicks, which is tough. So I'm gonna get into our game ball segments of the week this week. For the first game, I got Eagles versus the Rams. Did you see my guy AJ
Yeah.
Brown?
100%. And I want you to speak to this. You know how it is as a receiver. He's obviously the number one receiver on the team, meaning he should be getting all the targets and as much throws as he can. But receivers are known for being divas, prima donnas, crybabies if they don't get the rock. They don't want to block. But for someone who had that attitude like he's had and has just been a true professional, I mean, again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes in the locker room, but what I see is someone who's, you know what, it's not my turn yet. They haven't called my number. They don't need me. Hey, guess what? Rams, they needed me. I showed up. I was ready. I didn't have to get ready.
Well, I think it also says a lot about the DNA when you've won a Super Bowl. And when
Hmm.
guys have been to the promised land, I think there's a little bit more selflessness that takes place just off the simple fact that when you preach that as a coach and then the guys actually get the job done, they can see and understand what that means and what that looks like.
He's bought
And
in.
exactly, he's bought it. And when you have that, you're going to have guys who you don't have to constantly stay involved in. And I'm going to also circle this back to a conversation that we were having earlier. I mean, AJ Brown killed. Smitty had a good game as well.
Yeah.
Receiver duos. Where do you rank?
Oh, yeah,
Where do you
yeah.
rank them as a
Um,
receiver duo?
They top three. I mean, it's hard to find because obviously you were arguing for the Lions and stuff like that with J-Mo and Amonte Brown, but you had me look up which other duo had 1,000 yards
Receiver duo.
together, receiver duo, and yeah, so I guess Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers don't count, but yeah, I mean they're up there for sure. It's just that Jalen doesn't need a pass like that to win.
I
I
agree.
think Jalen Hurts is about winning football.
So part of the big deal for Philly as well as having a new offensive coordinator. He may have been leaning on the run a little bit too much this season. This is his first time kind of calling that thing. So being able to see that and see how you can unleash the passing game and using the pass game to your advantage, having weapons like that, you might see that offense evolve a little bit, but they really hadn't had to get into that bag yet. But knowing that they can continue to go deeper and deeper in their bag as a team only makes them that much more dangerous. I mean, when you have everybody keying on Saquon Barkley, you're having 7-man boxes, sometimes 8-man boxes. For them to be able to open up the pass game like they did last game,
Mm.
man, that was pretty impressive. And again, I mean, when you factor it in, what would you? It's very interesting because I saw something on Twitter today saying, "What would you describe Jalen Hurts in one word?" And my response to that was clutch, because I think that he's one of the guys like everything doesn't pop off the charts, maybe as far as him throwing the ball and certain and things like that. But at the end of the day, what you can always count on Jalen Hurts is you're going to get his best when his absolute best is required.
Yes,
That's
I
what you
agree with that.
need and want from the player that's leading your team, the player that's under center, because he continued to rise up to the occasion. And as the tide rises, everybody else around him does as well.
Mm. Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. And he's a true team guy. And I know anytime he hears a chatter about his passing yards, whatever, because I think they said that they showed something, he was last in passing yards. I think he had like 200 passing yards up until uh, yesterday. And so for him to say, hey, you know what, I still got this in my bag when I need it, and you saw what he did with AJ Brown and Smitty, and so Eagles are all about winning football. They could do whatever they want. They're still undefeated, and I think it's going to be hard to beat them this time moving forward because they've been in a couple playoff type games. The Rams is a great football team. Kansas City is a great football team, and so yeah, they've been doing well.
So I'm gonna go to another city for game ball number 2.
Hmm.
Chicago Bears versus the Dallas Cowboys. I got to give it to Caleb Williams, man. One thing that I noticed in that game, man, was his eyes seemed to be exactly where they needed to be at all times. Granted, he missed a couple of throws, but that's what you want to see from him. You want to see him, the ball going to the right spot, whether if it's complete or incomplete. And I know that may sound cliche in a sense to the Chicago fans, but at the end of the day, he's going to continue to improve his passing percentage and his accuracy. The more and better he knows where to go with the ball, he can then start to anticipate all those throws, and he's going to continue to get better. But I think this was the start, man. I thought Ben Johnson caught a heck of a game, and I think this is just the tip of the iceberg for Chicago. And I wanted to ask you, being a part of a secondary like the Dallas Cowboys, who have now given up 2 back-to-back games, and just look, to be honest, they looked horrible on
Yeah.
defense, especially in the secondary. What is that like as a DB? Like, what are those meetings like? Is that a communication thing? Is that a guy not doing their job? And as DBs, corners, and safeties who have to constantly be in communication, how many guys like are just taking accountability for just being beat, and what does that look like in the meeting rooms? Is that guys taking accountability? Is that guys saying, nah, you should have been here, you should have been there? Or what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, you saw what I mean. The Dallas Cowboys defense been giving up. I mean, points. They gave up points to the Eagles. They gave up points and yards to the Giants, and so now they did the same to Chicago. And so one play I did see with, um, gosh, with number 7 with Diggs. Diggs was just plain aggressive. Dig on one play, it was against on Doomsday. Diggs tried to do a quick jam.
I
Again,
saw
you
that and
like when
just
your
missed
yeah, you like when
and
your
just
corners
missed.
are aggressive, and then and then you put up the what's it called
Mailbox.
the mailbox.
Mailbox. Yes,
I'm
sir.
open.
Yes, sir.
He said I'm
And
open, and then
speaking of that, you got a
come
you
on,
got a segment
could
coming
that
to the
even be the
fans
route?
soon, don't you?
Could that even be the route?
What?
Like if you just beat him, like is that the could that not be the route or
No, that's a mailbox. He could have had an out or something.
oh, that's what I'm saying.
He beat me.
Okay.
You put that mailbox up. It's on the go.
Got you.
And
My
you got a
bad.
segment coming to the fans
I
soon, don't you?
do.
And
Listen,
what's the
y'all gotta
segment
get
called? You
ready.
you can tell us. Listen, we getting it right. We getting it
Yeah.
prepped. But can you just give us a little insight to what it is?
Yes.
Can you let us know the
100%.
name and just kind of let us know what you got coming for us?
Me, and my boy House, Devon House. We came up with this segment. It's called Buns and Bows, or we can
Buns and
say
bows,
yes, or we can say asses and elbows.
asses and
But
elbows. There we go.
yes,
Okay.
but
Okay. Asses and elbows, ladies and
yes,
gentlemen. Okay, so
and
you can
and
tell us a
and
little bit more about it.
yeah, yeah. And so I'm gonna explain it a little bit more when we get the segment going. But it's just basically you see a lot of corners when they get beat, you see their elbow to their ass, and that's why we call it. And because they're hauling butt,
All in
I've been
ass, all in
and,
tail.
and I've been in that position. I may have
What
missed.
does that feel
Or,
like as a DB? Like what's
oh
going through
my
your head?
God, listen, and because like say, like I'm going up against you, boom, and I miss, and you release outside. I had You could have a comeback. I don't know that. I got to haul ass because I have to think
You
it's
just think a
go.
touchdown, huh?
Yes. And so as I'm running to you, I'm praying at the same time. I'm praying at the I'm like, please, I hope he don't see him. I hope he don't see him. And then when I see you put your hands out or whatever, I now I gotta make sense. Now I gotta make a choice. Do I play the ball or do I just get a
PI.
PI or whatever? But yeah, like you have to make a decision. And again, week in, week out, you're going to see a DB in that position, no matter
For
no
sure.
matter what, because these
For sure.
receivers are good, and to not get
I just seen
hands.
Marlon Humphreys in that and
Yeah.
saying he'd have been on it.
Yes. Yeah. So, and we're just gonna highlight. We're gonna highlight it, not roasting, but we're gonna show like
Man,
where
listen,
the DB.
hey man, don't even start copping, please already. Hey, bro, hey, if y'all on here, man, my dog roasting y'all. Say no. But hey, listen, man, it's a part of the game. It happens. It
It
happens to the
is.
best of us. It
Yeah, and
happens.
it happened to me a lot, and that's why y'all gonna see my clips. But it's gonna be a good segment.
To game ball number 3, we got a repeat offender on here, man. Colts versus Tennessee Titans, man. Daniel Jones, man, with another
Oh man,
game ball, man. He's
is he top at MVP right now? He's in the race.
it's early. It's early. I mean,
Right, but
he's
that's what I'm
playing
saying.
well. He's playing well.
Yeah, he is.
Again, MVP at this point and at this stage of the game of the season, I think is a little premature, but he's playing
Undefeated,
extremely
playing
well.
great ball.
He is, and again, he's not turned the ball over. His completion percentage is above 70%. So I think for him being able to get on a roll early like this, I think it's going to be so beneficial for them down the stretch because early in the season, when you can build that confidence, I think he's going to continue to take more chances, but very calculated risks. And again, and the players are believing in him, and he's believing in the players. And at the end of the day, that's what you want, But on the flip side of that, the Tennessee Titans, man, they look horrible. They look
Oh
horrible,
yeah.
man. They getting beat to sleep yet again. I saw somebody said that somebody from the Colts said that the Tennessee Titans didn't even seem like they wanted to play in pregame.
Mm.
And ironically, when I was in Detroit last year, I played against the Tennessee Titans as well, and we put up like maybe we might have put a 50 piece on them. We might have had a 50 piece on them. I'm gonna have to go back and look that up. But I said the same thing last year in warm-up since they just ain't seemed like they wanted to play from the first snap. It did not seem like they wanted to play. And whenever you have that, man, I think you really have to question the culture. And I say that because having a young quarterback, man, they're so impressionable as far as the culture, the people around them, and that can affect them a lot. Obviously, they have a paid receiver in Calvin Ridley that their coach said that they need more out of. And, he hasn't exactly been the player that they needed him to be. So for me, it just seems like they're really searching for an identity. And when you have a young quarterback, man, when you got to dig too deep for that identity, man, it can be a hazard for the organization, man,
Yeah.
and just for that quarterback's development.
And I'm looking at their schedule right now. I mean, I have been winning. I have been winning the conference. I mean,
Tennessee Titans.
no, the Colts.
Oh, the Colts. Okay, okay.
Yes, the Colts. Yeah, I mean the Tennessee Titans. I mean, they might be. it might be picking top five again. Unfortunately,
What's
they're gonna.
to you know what I'm saying, not to cut you off, but what's the worst culture you feel like you've been in, or a year where our culture was really really bad?
I haven't been, and that's not even. I know you know I like to be PC and politically correct, but I haven't been.
I want to get. I do want to get. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till you in studio because I think it's gonna be a very funny conversation. I do want to talk about your arrival to Jacksonville.
Oh yeah, that
I
was.
do want to talk through some of that because I feel like that was kind of a very young, shifting culture, if you
Oh,
will.
it was, but it wasn't. Yeah, but it wasn't. It was. I mean, I was prepped for that. I mean, I think everybody else, it was tough for. Not even tough for. It was just.
It was what? It was what?
I enjoyed it. I describe it to everyone like this.
The man
Giants.
said. The man said when he came to when he came to Jacksonville, it felt like spring break.
Yeah, man, it was fun. What do you mean? Because coming where I came from, I
Which
was at
which
private
is Tom
school.
Tom Coughlin,
Yes, I was at private school
very
there, which
buttoned up.
yes, it was nice. I loved it. People may say he was too strict, but too strict gets you two Super Bowls,
And
which he got.
ironically, shortly after that, Tom Coughlin was in
And
Jacksonville.
yes, he was to try to restore order. But like that type of Seattle Seahawks, that Gus Bradley, that fun live
High
culture.
energy, competitive.
Yes, competitive. That's what the competitive. Remember me and you, our one and ones. All right, I got Prince and A Rob. We went one and ones
Call
all
out
day at
Tuesday. Was
practice.
it call out Wednesdays, call out Tuesdays, something like that?
Yes, and we were. Did I call you out or you called me out? I think I called you out. You weren't
Yeah,
worried about nobody.
yeah, bro. I don't
Yeah,
know why you
yeah,
did
whatever. But anyways,
that.
but that's what I'm talking about. Like we didn't have that in New York, and so that culture, competitiveness breeds success,
For sure.
and so that was great. But like some players couldn't deal with it, and so when players can't deal with it, you kind of have to BTA some of them players.
A little bit. So I'm gonna get to the last of the game balls. Buccaneers versus the Jets. I
Oh
got my
man,
game ball going to Baker Mayfield,
oh my
man.
gosh.
I thought he played lights out down the stretch, man. It's one of those things with Baker where he seems so comfortable and confident right now. We're
He
down.
could have got it twice because he played Monday night.
Yeah, yeah. And again, and like I said before, man, in those crunch time situations, man, his elusiveness, ability to keep the play alive, everything just kind of starts to come to fruition for him late in those games, man. And I mean, we saw it again. He led another 2 minute drive, down for the win. And I have a memory of him when I was injured, but when I was in LA, we signed Baker Mayfield
Oh,
on a
you
Tuesday.
did.
He
Tuesday
had to
came
play
and
on
played
a
Thursday.
Thursday and led them on a 2 minute drive
Ridiculous.
to win against the Raiders in Las Vegas. Well, it was in LA, but let them on a 2 minute drive on 2 days notice. And I remember him saying that he was just in the car with McVay on the way to the game, trying to just take in all that he could with the plays and stuff like that. So he has that knack for winning.
Yes,
Again, I
he
mean,
does.
former woman, former number one overall pick. So it's good to see him be able, and it's also good to see, man, some of these quarterbacks going to different places and having success, man, because
Yeah.
this is a what have you done for me lately kind of league, and guys get written off pretty quickly.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, Daniel Jones is a perfect example of that. It's crazy what an environment switch can do. Like
For
it's.
sure.
I mean, look at Mac Jones again. I mean, if Mac Jones keeps playing like this, I mean, it's gonna be looking great for him. But what I want to add to Baker was, did you see what he said in the press conference after
It was
about the?
personal.
Yes, because
And
the
and
deep.
again, that's what great competitors do. They make
Oh
everything
yeah,
personal.
they find an edge. Yeah.
They
What
find
did
an edge.
KG said? They say, "Oh, KG said, oh, he called me the N word." What? He ain't call you the N word. He said it in his language.
Hey, whatever it takes, man. I mean, we've heard some of the best just be able to create scenarios to give themselves an edge. But so I'm gonna take it into our next segment, which is your favorite segment, and I can't wait to hear your response for this first question. I know it's close to home: fantasy or reality. We will see Jackson Dart next week, week 4, as the Giants starting quarterback. Fantasy or reality?
fantasy, man. And listen, it's
You
only it's
you
still
stand with
fantasy.
Russ, huh?
Yes, it's still fantasy. But I had to look up when their bye week is. So their official bye week is going to be around like December 1st, which they can't wait that long if things continue to happen how they're happening. But they have a Thursday night game in early October, and then after the Thursday night game, you get a couple of days and you get a full week. So I think I think Russ has about 2 more weeks, and it's not even about yardage or anything. I think it's about winning. And we heard Coach Dable say about the boos, and he said, "Shoot, I would boo too." I mean, and Dable's not one to shy away from accountability and stuff like that. And I think he's a coach that points the thumb and not the finger. And so he knows they have to get it right. And they have who do they have this week?
Chargers.
And they have the Chargers.
Tough
Chargers
game.
is it's a tough game, but it's a winnable game.
It
And
is a
so
it is a winnable game. Very very winnable. But my question is, coming off of last week, I understand the Cowboys game. Again, Cowboys have one of the worst defenses in the NFL. But watching last week's game, the Giants didn't look at all in any kind of rhythm in their passing game. To end the game, one of their final possessions was they went 0 for 4 in the
in the
red
red zone,
zone,
yeah.
and a receiver did not even touch the ball.
Mm.
And I say that because now we also have to start to evaluate, are there any plays where Jackson Dart would be able to be in and extend the play a little bit more? You know what I'm saying? Are there any plays to whereas can you call RPO a little bit? We see them bringing him in for some packages, but now it's about what can we do to try to figure this thing out to give ourselves a little bit of a spark, a little bit of an advantage. Obviously, we're banged up front a little bit with the O line, but at the same time, again, we're limited on the mobility of our quarterback as well. So is how do we give ourselves an advantage? And where does that come from? And I think maybe with a younger, more mobile guy, I think you might be able to create that a little bit because right now, whatever is going on and whatever is happening, it is not working. And we know the statistics on 0-3 teams making it to the playoffs. So as you continue to try to buy time for whatever you want to buy time for, if those games do not result in a win, I mean, being 0-4 or 0-5 is almost just a gut punch to the season. I mean, you're already at the gut punch mark, but where do you make any kind of adjustment or alteration for your season?
But is it quarterback play as to why they're losing?
When you score 6 points in a game,
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
how do
You're
you
right.
win?
You're right.
When you play
You're
against the
right.
Commanders in different situations, and your red zone offense at this point has been stagnant is an understatement for what your red zone offense has been this season. So again, and this is not being hypercritical or anything, but this is the fact of the matter of when you break down, and as he said, Dabo said today, everything is on the table. When you're evaluating that, you have to evaluate where do we get better. Running game last night, Cam Scatterboo had a very good
Yeah,
game running the
he's
ball.
looking like RB
Was
one.
able to
He was
settle,
RB1 and
settle. He
hold
had
on.
a solid game. RB1, though, I think that's a little bit of a stretch. This is
I'm
this
I'm
is this is no the New York Giants and their fan base is used to having Saquon Barkley run
right.
the ball. Before
Right.
Saquon Barkley, you had I think it was you had Bradshaw, you had Brandon
Yeah.
Jacobs. I mean, you had a couple other good running backs in there, so they're used to some backs. And I understand Cam Scatterbo, but I,
I'm
for
saying
them,
about the juice. I mean, if we're going off for the last game, he looked like RB1 and wide receiver one. We're talking about a guy who he just brings the juice. Anytime he gets the ball, he's bringing excitement.
B
He's the guy.
C A. If he your RB1 and your receiver
I
one,
I
B
I
T
agree.
A. And I
I'm
mean
trying
that
to.
respectfully.
No, I agree. I agree. But I'm saying is when when you look at Cam Scatterboo, he's a guy, and you hear coaches. This let me tell you what the meetings look like on team meetings right now.
Mhm.
They have a whole highlight of Scatterboo whether it's special teams, running back, wide receiver, whether he's blocking, catching, running, and the coach is saying, "You see this? If everyone just had an
I
ounce of
agree with
heart,
that, and
exactly,
and that is what he's bringing to the
a
table. He's
hundred
bringing some
percent,
edge. He's bringing that tenacity, and I
yeah,
have a lot of respect for that. But at the end of the day, this is a talent-driven playmaking
right,
league. You can only have so many of those. Your best players have to be the hardest workers as well.
yes,
Also, if you want to be able to take it to the next level, so
right,
again, I think there's a lot of things that right now the Giants are trying to figure out. Obviously, starting 0-3 is not ideal by any means. It's a you have to go look in the mirror, and you have to figure out what's going on in that mirror quickly, because in this league, obviously they're on to this week and they have the Chargers, which is again a winnable game, as they all
yeah.
are in the NFL. But again, it's going to be a tough game. Everybody's going to have to be locked in on their P's and Q's, and 6 points or not being able to score in the red zone is not going to get it done.
100%. No, I agree with you, and yeah, I agree with you.
Fantasy or reality, it's over for the Bengals.
Hmm. Hmm. Gosh, I had to think with that score, and we just talked about the Vikings laid. Was that that? Hold on, you
BTA.
didn't put BTA? Did you put
I
B?
didn't. They
Oh
was they
man,
was they was close. They was close.
man, oh man. That was tough to see. I mean, the Vikings talk about call. I can't believe they still haven't made the call for Jameis. I mean, there's
They said they was
Kirk.
rocking with him, man. They said they was rocking with him, but at the same time, it's like,
Browning had a good game to finish it, so I guess hey, let's give this kid another shot and see and let's see
I
what.
mean, it's pretty. Again, we just talked about Baker Mayfield doing it, but man, it's hard to come in as a quarterback and just try to learn and just try to get expedited on the same page. Also, you know how the Bengals are when it comes to money. They
Oh
money
yeah,
tied up. You know what I'm saying? All their money is built around Joe Burrow. So, somebody rushing the passer, two receivers. All their money is tied into being able to win now. So you have a team that's pretty much based on that. But at the end of the day, you may have teams to start to rethink that quarterback two position based on some of the injuries and stuff that's happening right now around the league. I mean, I'm sure the Bengals would love to have a Mac Jones being able to
right,
back up a person like Joe Burrow.
exactly.
So I mean, that's always being evaluated based on last game that I saw for the Bengals, man. And just looking at their division, I think they're done, man. They're in a very
Yeah,
tough.
it's reality. I mean,
Um,
unless they go in, they make some
I mean,
type
you're
of
talking about 3 months without your quarterback, and
yeah,
then you're talking about a quarterback who's going to have to jump on a moving train, which is tough, man. I mean, you're trying to teach him the cadence. It's tough, I mean, where you're not positioned to have a solid backup quarterback to come in, and you do have a situation like this where your best player or your starting quarterback is going to be out for 3 months or so, man. It's a tough situation for most teams. We know how that go, man. Quarterback out for almost the rest of the season. Season's done. Season's
I
done.
agree with that.
Every blue moon, you'll see somebody come in. You'll have a Brock Purdy type of guy come in as a backup and be able to make some noise. But again, man, that's not a common thing in this league. Fantasy or reality, the Cowboys defense can't get any worse.
I gotta see who they play. Um, I think
Have you
that's I
seen them
think
over the
that's
past couple weeks?
yeah, yes. I mean, it's reality. I mean, it's reality because I mean, because with what they're doing, I mean, they still have their starting quarterback, and I remember I was looking at the line, and I mean, I love Chicago, but I was looking at the line. I thought that the Cowboys would be a little bit favored, but hey, Vegas knew something I didn't. The Bears knew something I didn't.
Hey, Vegas always seem to know something that don't
Yes,
nobody know, huh?
yes, yes, they do. Guess speaking of the Cowboys, guess who they play next?
Who?
Yes. Where did Micah?
Say it one more time. Oh, Green Bay, huh? Yeah, BT. They might be on BTA next week.
Oh, and it's in Dallas.
They might be on BTA next week. Remember the
Oh
last time?
man,
I think it was the last time the Packers went to Dallas. They smacked them. It was in the playoff game,
yeah,
NFC divisional round.
yeah,
Um, and again, and I say that because man, we've seen the Cowboys defense be so bad in crucial situations.
yeah.
All you had to do is keep a lid on it against the Giants. You let Malik Neighbors get behind you when it matters most. Granted, you won that game, but for me, is what's going on back there on that back end. I mean, to me, it doesn't seem that they have the personnel right now. This is not even a scheme thing. I mean, when
Mm,
when your best player or your best corner is getting beat off the line like that, like giving up touchdowns, I mean, it's difficult. When you
yeah.
have your other two defenders on the backside in crunch time against the Giants, getting beat against Malik Neighbors on a double move, you have problems. You know what I'm saying?
You
You
have
can't guard
problems.
the one-on-ones. You can't guard the two-on-ones
Yeah,
right now.
I think cool. Pay your 30, 20, whatever $1 million corner. You got to play cover two now. Whatever you paid him to
Deron
pay.
Bland will be back for them hopefully some point. We know all corners love cover two, as y'all just heard him call it out. But
I'm saying.
Wandale Robinson hit them up the pipes
I
twice
know.
in
Yeah.
cover two. So nothing is working for them. Zone is not working. Obviously, press man is not working.
Yeah.
So I got to stick with you on that. I'm gonna say fantasy, man. I listen
You think it could
until
get worse?
Deron Bland gets back, and they're gonna play against a hungry Green Bay team. Until I see somebody coming to self revive
Mm.
that defense, I think it can get worse. But I got another segment for us this week called The Comeback Kids. And I have three this week. They all happen to be quarterbacks. Had to show them some love. First up, we got Carson Wentz. Man,
Mm.
Carson Wentz came in. He played well. Again, to be able to come in like that, it's not easy. But obviously, we saw Carson be a really good player in this league, man. It was good to see him back out there leading the Vikings to a victory, being able to kind of lead the charge until they get JJ McCarthy back. And to be honest, again, I mean, I'm not the person just trying to spark quarterback turmoil here, but I mean, their offense looks solid. It struggled a lot a bit with JJ McCarthy, and now with
Yeah.
Carson Wentz, it looks solid. It looks solid.
Listen, I keep telling people this all the time. Anytime a backup quarterback gets gets to start, you better expect the number one receiver, bet his yardage is gonna go up, and bet that
Because they have
the
to lean
backup
on that guy.
quarterback is exactly. Think about it. You tell us, like, hey Rob, you're gonna go to the backup. Hey man, just know I got you this week, man. If you need help, whatever. Look, we saw it with Tyrod Taylor. Garrett Wilson had a great had a
It's
great
also
game.
funny because for all the teams I could be on, I could say that the the backup quarterback is always the most cool with everybody on the offense.
Man, Chase
You know what I'm
Daniel.
saying? Man, you always gonna have a backup quarterback coming to you like, dang, bro, like I seen you, know what I'm saying? He should have hit you. Or it's funny because he's always kind of like the sounding board a little bit for the receivers anyway. So when it comes to knowing what guys want and different things like that, you really like to see it. Second up
Yeah.
I got is Marcus Mariota. You know,
Oh
um,
my
he
gosh.
played. He
Yes.
played this week. The Commanders beat the Raiders, in a pretty convincing win. He led the charge for them. Again, another guy that we saw play very well in this league. It's a common denominator in this that I'm gonna bring up after I introduce the last one. Um, Last but not least on the comeback kids list is Mac Jones. Another guy that we've saw. Obviously, all three of these guys are first round draft pick quarterbacks, who have spent a lot of time as starters in this league. But the common denominator that they have, man, is the offensive coordinators.
Mm.
I and I say that because that's a theme that we're starting to see maybe a little bit more common than we had before. You see Sam Darnold get with a guy like Kevin O'Connell, and you see him take off a little bit. You see Carson Wentz getting with Kevin O'Connell. You see him taking off a little bit. You can see what Kyle Shanahan is doing with a Brock Purdy and with a Mac Jones. Same with Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
He has a young uh, a young quarterback, and then also Marcus Mariota backing him up. And I say that because and now even with DJ over there with the Colts, Daniel
Yeah,
Jones,
David Jones.
you
Yeah.
know, and I say that because do you think the leash for some of these quarterbacks when they're young is a little bit too short and that they may not just have the proper relationship or cohesiveness with the offensive coordinator or the guy that's calling it? Because again, we're seeing a lot of quarterback resurgence right now. And there was once upon a time where once the quarterback was kind of done, he's done, you know. But
Right.
we've seen a lot of guys now be able to get with somebody else, Baker Mayfields of the world, Geno Smiths. You know, we saw a lot of resurgence of quarterbacks actually be better in their second and third stints than they were in the first.
Yes, 100%. Like I said, it's the environment. Whatever it is, they just they just find when they find another home, they find success there. And you love to see it. That there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks in free agency this year who probably thought their career was going to be
I
over, and
I
now they're
agree,
going to get paid.
and I would give all those guys, especially
Right.
Mac Jones, I think they're going to be on a short list of teams next year as far as on their radar when it comes to free agency because
Yeah.
you have a lot of teams, you know, who you may have a guy who's coming off of a 1 year deal. You know, you'll also probably see some extensions. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see a Daniel Jones extension at some point in
Oh,
time throughout the course of the season with how
but you know
he's
what that means? If he gets extended, what does that mean
he's the
for?
guy. Me and you spoke to earlier. There was one of I would say one of the greatest coaches of all times. He had his drafting rules, which was a list of rules that he
Bill
lived by
Parcells.
when it came to drafting quarterbacks, and it was Bill Parcells. He had a list, 7 things. Number one, must be a senior. Number two, be a 3 year starter. Three, graduate from college. Four, start 30 games. Five, win 23 games. Six, post a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. And seven, last but not least, complete at least 60% of passes. And I say that because we kind of spoke to earlier, and granted, that may seem easy or like a no brainer, but when you break it down to put in perspective, you have Brock Purdy, who was the last pick in the NFL draft, who checks off all 7 of those boxes. And you have a guy like Anthony Richardson, who doesn't check off any of those boxes and gets
Mm,
drafted number 4 overall. And
mm,
I say that because obviously the draft process is not a perfect process or a perfect system and how they go about it. But you would think things like this, especially at that position, would be a no-brainer. How do you think coaches, when they're going about evaluating talent versus, I would say that those are kind of the intangibles, which is what you
yeah,
want for
yeah,
a quarterback. I think when you go look at a lot of quarterbacks and from your Tom Brady's of the world and so on and so forth, they'll have a lot of things in common with that list even a person like Lamar Jackson.
right.
He'll have, and I say that because getting sometimes people get caught up in skill sets so much, but when you break down different things and things that pop out like completion percentage, games won, games started, you see the experience that guys
Yeah.
have
The
rather than
leadership.
exactly, which is the number one thing as a quarterback in this league is you're trying to be a leader of men.
Right.
So
Right.
to close us out, I got my guaranteed picks of week 3. Detroit just won. They'll be coming off of back-to-back wins. So for my guaranteed pick, I'm going with the Lions over the Browns. I'm going with the Seahawks over the Arizona Cardinals, the Chargers over the Giants, and last but not least, this was a no-brainer for me, Bills over Saints. For anybody who's been rocking with us since we first started doing guaranteed picks, you still got some money and some earnings from some of our other wins. So if you got it in you this week, man, put those in a parlay. You'll be guaranteed to win something. Slow motion is better than no motion
Slow motion.
when
Yes,
it
sir.
comes to the money.
Yes,
You got anything for us left, P?
No, I mean I'm gonna be tuned in on that Penn State or Oregon game, man. I think that you like you said,
Tune in,
college
Happy
game day.
Valley, man. Happy Valley, Penn State versus Oregon. Y'all know how we
College
rock
game,
it.
college game
Nittany
day is
Lion,
gonna be there.
College game day.
Uh, Dabo. I mean, we're gonna keep a close eye on Dabo and
That's
Clemson.
people,
Yeah,
and we'll slowly start to talk a little bit more college ball, man,
yeah.
as it
But
starts to get more relevant, man. But
I just want to talk about him. He's calling their bluff because he.
I saw him
I
call
know
their
he's
bluff.
hearing the chatter.
He was
Hey,
pretty
listen.
vocal about it.
He said, "Hey, I'm 55. I could if I'm just now getting started. I'm just now feel
Careful
like
what
I'm
you wish for.
coaching, and so if I don't win here, I'm gonna win somewhere else.
Be
Like I'm
careful.
not gonna stop coaching.
Be
Say,
careful what you wish for.
Brody, come on, man. He's gonna be a hot commodity. Anyone's gonna take him. We have to buy him out. Stop it, man. Stop.
What's UNC doing right now? The landscape has changed. College football is not college football. This is not the college football when Dabo was winning his national championships.
Right.
The whole landscape has shifted. He was the main one who was against NIL and all of that,
Right.
and now he's finding himself on the short end of the stick. It's a new day. It's a new light, my boy.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. I
Dabo
mean, to
Dabo got
list.
Dabo got to get with it.
Yeah, he do. And it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how. I mean, how they bounce back.
It will be. So tune in with us next week. Episode 5 coming to you next week. This is the press release. I'm your host, Allen Robinson, with Prince Amukamara, Super Bowl
Boy,
champion.
man. Give me something under my name, man.